Om Namah Shivaya. Shivji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya. Guruji Sada Sahai. For couple returning home from US, Guruji is sole anchor. Satsang as narrated of MEERA and ANIL JAUHAR. The Jauhars returned to India 5 years ago from New York. Their re-entry was not without friction. The homecoming was not as warm as expected, and Meera Jauhar often griped in those days that they had no one to guide them. That changed in August of 2006. For quite some time, their neighbors, the Bhatias who, like them, were in the real estate business, had been persuading them to meet a person they only referred to as Guruji. Anil Jauhar did not quite know what to do with the proposition. However, the couple decided to take up the invitation one evening. As they set out with the Bhartiyas, Meera wondered about the children, twins aged 8, the couple was leaving behind. She told her husband that they should go in good faith, listening to the Bhatiyas' well meant suggestion as they would have to their parents. Meera was a diabetic, a fact not known to her neighbors, who had told her that it would be unwise not to drink the tea or have the langar served at Guruji's. It was thus with some trepidation that the couple entered Guruji's darbar in Empire Estate. Meera had her tea and then the langar that, apart from chapatis and dal, had laddus. The sacred meal over, her stomach protested with pain. She endured it for the next hour. When the time came for the Johars to take their leave, Guruji spoke to them. Aya karo, aish karo. Outside the Empire Estate residence, the Bhatiyas told them they were fortunate. Guruji had spoken to them on their first visit. Mrs. Johar was not impressed. She wondered when the pain would ease. At night, she could not sleep and kept thinking of Guruji's place, intuiting that they had been to a special place. In the morning, she immediately checked her sugar level. It was down to 100, and she never knew it couldn't be. And she knew it couldn't be, for it would rise even if she ate a wheat chapati at home. Meera kept checking the levels after each of the next 2-3 visits. Every time her level would be down. Even her triglyceride levels that had mounted to 700 plummeted to 120, the normal level. Finally, she stopped testing herself and Guruji, realizing that Guruji's blessings were bringing down her sugar levels. She felt as if her blood had been filtered and purified, and it was not just a feeling. It could be seen in fact. Usually her blood tests would proceed with difficulty, there being much to do or finding a vein, and the blood that was drawn out was always thick. After the visits to Guruji, the needle pierced the vein at the first attempt and blood spurted out. Interestingly, the Bhatiyas had not known that the Johars were unwell. Anil Johar had a sinus problem. It was so bad that he couldn't sit with the air conditioner on. After they had been to Guruji's for 2-3 months, Anil found that the sinus was a thing of the past. He had been so preoccupied with his wife's health that he had failed to notice it. Safe safari on a flat tire. In January 2007, the Johars and a couple of other families went for a trip to the Jim Corbett National Park. They were bundled in 2 jeeps and drove inside the wilderness, hoping to spot some wild game. They were disappointed, the children pointing out that they had seen more animals in urban Gurgaon. They returned to their accommodations, stopping before the guard. He pointed out how fortunate they had been not to sight any animal. A long nail had punctured the rear wheel of their jeep. They had not realized it, yet the punctured tire had not proved to be a hindrance as they made their 3-hour journey in inhospitable terrain. Guruji had saved the Johars from an untoward calamity. A love letter to Meera. The couple had been going to Guruji for some time when Meera noticed that Guruji always addressed her as Mrs. Johar, even though he called every other lady auntie. One evening, mulling over the distinction outside the darshan hall, she told her husband that she felt Guruji didn't love her and that she was not in his favorites list. Minutes later, when it was leave-taking time, Guruji extended an envelope towards Meera and said, Johar auntie, love letter. The omniscient Guru had read the thoughts of his devotee by endearingly calling an invite for an evening concert a love letter. He had answered her call. Meera's doubts melted away in his love. It dawned on her that the relationship with Guruji was not dependent on words. It sustained itself through inexpressible love. She felt that it was not necessary to be with Guruji. He is present everywhere, that he is the sole giver, wishing nothing for himself. His horizon is unlimited because he is God. He only wants love and devotion. His blessings are for everyone. Sacred satsang at the Johars. His omnipotence was on full display when the Johars were honored to host a satsang at their Gurgaon residence. As Meera tells it, we planned the big occasion in the basement of our house. A day before the satsang, I was eagerly preparing for the event. I told my husband that it would be great if the Sangat felt Guruji's presence during the satsang. Guruji heard me and he fulfilled my wish. The satsang was from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. However, some people came in at around 4:25 p.m. With the arrival of the Sangat, we smelt a whiff of Guruji's fragrance all over the house. We cheered up, but this was just the beginning. Guruji had planned a beautiful and memorable evening for us. A photograph of Guruji's had been put up in the basement hall. As we all surrounded it for his darshan, a prominent Trishul trident appeared on his forehead. The Trishul was three-dimensional and glowing with light. We were wonderstruck. We had been blessed as God had bestowed his holy presence in our house. Soon the Sangat started pouring in, and Guruji's Aarti ceremony using a lighted lamp to honor divinity was performed. Everyone participated in the satsang with love filled hearts. The blessed langar was served, and Sangat started dispersing. Late in the evening, when only a handful of people were left, we again witnessed a miracle. A beautiful and distinct shivling appeared on yet another photograph of Guruji's that had been kept in the ground floor of the house. Another speechless, memorable, and special moment for us. O God, O Guruji, always bless us and guide us to and through the right path in our lives. Bent Shukrana Guru Maharaj.